What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Y2 Shadows and we're back at it again with Hoop Nights. And today we're gonna get into the Lakers and the Nuggets, kind of get my thoughts on the post game and kind of talk about the game from there. Just to let everybody know really quick, thank you guys for the past couple of videos, the support. I know that this is going to be a grind and it is going to take the channel to grow for a little bit, but just anybody who's been able to tune in and watch, I really do appreciate it because I enjoy talking hoops. I enjoy talking ball, love talking basketball and stuff. So I just love the fact that I can be able to talk ball with you guys. But let's kind of get on into everything. Let's kind of talk about the game here. So first thing is the Don is back. The Don is indeed back, and he came back with a fucking vengeance. Luka Doncic tonight, man. Luka 32, 10 and 7, was almost 50% from 3, 2, 4 threes. Only played 31 minutes too, by the way. Didn't have to play a heavy ton of minutes at all. Only 31. And at the pace that he was going, he probably could have gotten way more. The Don woke up tonight and seen food. One thing that people have been mentioning all year is Denver's currently they were on a 9-game winning streak before this game, and Denver was on, like, they hadn't beaten anybody really good during that win streak, right? Like no real like crazy wins. Like we go to the Nuggets last few games here, so like before the loss, right? Before the loss to the Knicks, right? So after the Knicks loss, I mean, you beat the 76ers, who are terrible, like Hornets, Pelican. Like the only decent win here that you could probably say, especially like a playoff team, is Orlando. Orlando's really decent. They beat Orlando at home, but no, like, there's no win here that you're just kind of like overly impressed with, per se. Like nothing that you're like really like making of being like, oh, they beat like above 500 team, or they beat like a championship contender team, right? So this matchup here was highly anticipated for a number of reasons, right? People were going to see like, hey, is the Lakers offense actually not that good, and is Luka still going to take some time to come back to form? Is Denver still just going to be the Lakers' kryptonite? What is Jokic going to do now that there's no Anthony Davis and the Lakers defense is supposedly supposed to be even worse? And the Lakers just did a complete domination from start to finish versus the Nuggets. The Nuggets never led in this game at all. They've tied the game a couple of times, and the closest that they had ever actually gotten to was in the third quarter. They had made a run to where it was a 1-point game, but outside of the ties early in the game and that 1-point game in the early third quarter period, the Nuggets never led and didn't really like show any control in this game. The Lakers just had this thing on wrapped up for a majority of the game here. 123 to 100. The Lakers, since I want to say I think it was the past 16 games, the Lakers have been the #1 defense in the NBA. And we're talking a 16-game stretch. We're not talking about a period of like, oh, you know, 3-4 games, stuff that like teams will use sometimes to put out graphics and be like, oh, hey, we've been the best defense for like, you know, the past 3 games or something like that. And also, the Lakers didn't play just a bunch of bums during the last 15-game stretch. I mean, we beat the Pacers with no LeBron and no Reeves. We beat a fully healthy Clippers team. We beat the Knicks in ABC primetime, right? And then going back to the games with Anthony Davis, I mean, we beat the Warriors. Warriors weren't as good then because they didn't have Jimmy Butler, but now they got Jimmy Butler. So we'll kind of see that matchup later in the year. But we beat Boston, dude. At Boston at home. Like that was one of the biggest wins of the year. Dominated Boston from start to finish, and everything. So like it really just goes to show you that like we've had some really good wins in this win streak. Besides just beating a bunch of bottom feeders, like we've beaten a bunch of above 500 teams and playoff level teams that will be more than likely be in the playoffs. So coming into this matchup, right, I wanted to see if Luka was going to get back to form, and Luka definitely got back to form. Luka's and LeBron's synergy was on point. Starting from the opening tip, it was 2-0. MPJ had just shot a shot and missed it. Luka gets the rebound and outlets it immediately to LeBron, who goes ahead and gets a dunk. And then there's another outlet later in the third quarter. Luka again, long pass to LeBron, who goes in, and he just, unfortunately, his liftoff isn't at the same as obviously his younger days, so he just kind of didn't lift off as great and just ended up getting a layup on the end, which is still 2 points. Doesn't matter if it just, you know, a lot of people want to see the dunks for the highlights, but hey, it's the fact that Luka really woke up, and we were glad to see that. One of the bigger stories of the game, though, is the Lakers defense. The Lakers defense holding the Nuggets, right? Before the Nuggets starters got took out with 4 minutes left in the game because it was a 20-point game after Luka had, funny enough, gotten fouled, and they didn't call it, but Luka hit this, like, crazy tough floater from the right hand baseline corner and had gotten it, and Mike Malone had pulled out the starters. It was like the Nuggets had scored 97 points. And since and from the 4 minute point on to the rest of the game, they only scored 1-3, and that was it. But when the starters were pulled out, we had held them to 97 points. So we held the daunted Nuggets offense that had been going on a tear to only 97 points before the stars had gotten pulled out. That was like the main rotation guys, as I say. Let's not just only say stars, but main rotation guys. Like, that was huge in my opinion. Russell Westbrook was like, we made Russ shoot a bunch tonight, which was great in our favor. What JJ Redick did, which I wasn't sure if he was going to do, because I didn't know if he wanted to do this with Jokic, and he did it anyway, and it worked so wonderfully in our favor, was we went to our small ball 5 and we did do our switching defense, and we switched everything. We definitely shadowed on the help too. We did throw some double teams. We did throw some double teams at Jokic, and the game plan from the get-go was Aaron, like, because we had Jackson, like they had Jackson Hayes stationed on Aaron Gordon, and Jackson was gonna come over when Jackson was in, and if Jokic is kind of like in the planar crowd area, Jackson's gonna help, and we're just gonna leave Aaron Gordon in the corner. And if Aaron Gordon beats you, so be it, right? And Aaron Gordon had a great night, right? Aaron Gordon had 24 points. How many threes did he have? I swear he had like 6 or something threes. Oh, it says only at 4, but I swear it felt like more, because Aaron Gordon damn near hit every 3 that he talked about. Jamal Murray hit 6 threes, which like, funny enough, after the third quarter, like after that third quarter, that final 3, he did nothing. He just didn't matter on offense at all the rest of the game. But Aaron Gordon, yeah, the plan was, if Gordon is going to beat us, like, Aaron Gordon's just going to beat you there, and you just live with the results. But Jokic only took 7 shots tonight. Now, he's the best player in the world, so how often we're going to just limit him on 7 shots is not going to be a nightly thing. Like, if the Lakers and the Nuggets match up in a series again, I don't think it's going to be a thing where, like, oh, you know, Jokic is just going to take a bunch of, like, it's going to be a bunch of games where Jokic is only going to take like 7 shots in a game. That's not going to happen in 35 minutes of action, right? But it's the fact that we forced Jokic to get the ball out of his hands, and instead of kicking it out to the big shooters like Jamal or Michael Porter, or like, we relied on, said, hey, Aaron Gordon, you're gonna have to beat us. And Aaron Gordon, salute, he did his thing, but Aaron Gordon, and ultimately in the end, did not matter. The Nuggets defense is so terrible too, because the Nuggets had, like, when the Nuggets finally had to guard and realized, like, hey, you're gonna have to actually defend too. we just ran them out of the building. One thing that was Rui Hachimura, by the way, I want to talk about this because I want to talk about the Lakers offense now. Rui Hachimura tonight, this is one of the reasons why I have mixed feelings on this guy, because Rui, on nights like tonight, Rui's impact matters so much, where if Rui is hitting shots like this, then the Lakers are on offense are like damn near unguardable. You can't guard the Lakers on offense, because when we had Jackson in the starting lineup, like the first early in the game, like they wouldn't help on Jax, and Braun Reeves and Luka are just feeding Jackson Hayes the ball, and Jackson's 7-footer. He's not gonna and when he's right there at the rim, he's not missing those layups and dunks really much like right there at the rim. So then when they try to actually help, now you're leaving these guys one-on-one on the island, and Rui's getting a ton of open looks, and on catch and shoot threes this year, Rui Hachimura has been shooting about 50% on catch and shoot threes. So at a certain point during the series, it's like, all right, well, if you want to leave him open and you don't believe in that, like you think that stat is fake, it's like, okay, cool. But at a certain point it's just like, man, your guys are getting open and they're hitting shots. Gabe Vincent tonight didn't really like shoot well, but Gabe had a timely 3 late in the fourth quarter that had put us that kind of put us back up 14. I know they're still like double digit point, but it's the fact that like the Nuggets just felt like they could go on a run, and Braun had kicked it over to Gabe Vincent in the left upper wing area, and like Gabe Vincent hit that 3. So it was just like, damn, really just like great offensive process. JJ Redick in his post-game interview has stated that he hadn't slept hardly since the Portland game, because him and the coaching staff was up all the time trying to plan for this game and figure out how they're gonna match up against Jokic and do a chess game against Mike Malone. And salute to JJ and the staff, man. Excellent game plan, executed from top to bottom. LeBron and Reeves were great as well. I mean, again, you're gonna tell me Luka's gonna go to the bench and you're gonna let LeBron James take over and start cooking? Like, come on, dude. And then Reeves just getting whatever he wants on offense. Reeves continues to just shine. The fact Reeves eventually, I'm not gonna lie, when that second contract comes up, Reeves is playing, the Lakers are gonna have to make a tough decision, because he's gonna command probably 150 M's. He's going to command a lot for sure. And it is going to be one of the things where a few years down the line where it's like, man, that guy right now, he's on the best value contract at the moment, but eventually you're going to have to pay him. And he's going to command, he's definitely going to command way over 120 million. I think probably bare minimum 150, like with the amount of good play that he's getting out of them. But that's years from now. We don't have to worry about that. So yeah, man, from start to finish, this was one of the Lakers' more dominant wins of the year. Kind of the same with Boston, where they were dominant against Boston too. But this game was needed more so because the Nuggets had felt like the Lakers' kryptonite for like the past 2 years. I want to say, definitely the past 2 years. Ever since that Western Conference Final series where the Lakers got swept and even every game was close, it just kind of felt like we were running into we just had bad matchups with the Nuggets, and we just couldn't beat them. There was just no way to overcome the hump. Every game would be kind of the same. The Lakers would get off to a decent amount of lead. The Lakers would hold the lead until around like the fourth quarter, and then the Nuggets would slowly whittle away at the chip out of the lead, and then it'd get to the point where it's just like, wow, now the Nuggets was able to take the lead. Or you do some shit like game 2 of the playoff series last year where Jamal Murray hits the buzzer beater, which to this day that still stings. So Yeah, man. It's just this is just something I feel like the Lakers needed to get off their psyche. It's like now we got the win and in convention fashion. Now, who really are we afraid of at this point? And I'm not gonna diss OKC. I like OKC personally. I still have OKC as the favorite coming out the West. Hell, if OKC comes out the West, I want OKC to win the title. But at this point here, with the Lakers just continue to build continuity and gel, at a certain point it's just gonna come to, man, who's gonna be able to stop this? Who's gonna be able to like take advantage of this defense? And who's gonna stop this offense? And I think OKC has the answers for trying to be able to put pressure on defense, on try to stop on the offense, but their shot making is way worse than the Lakers. Like last year when OKC played Dallas, Luka had a field day on them because SGA was the only person who could create offense. So Luka went off because Luka is again a top 3 player in the world, and then SGA was the only one who was able to create offense in that series. If any of the other role players play together, that series goes 7 games, and you're looking, and OKC potentially could have potentially went to the finals last year. I don't know 100% if they beat Minnesota, but you know, anything could happen. But it's just the fact that like OKC's offense just wasn't really that good, and they continue to struggle with the same things again this year, where in certain games this year against some of the upper echelon opponents, I think they've done it even in some of their losses too, to some people that aren't really that good, but in their losses their offensive process is not good, and they struggle to generate good offense outside of OKC. Well, not outside of OKC, I'm tripping. Outside of SGA. So I'm not gonna overreact and now say that, hey, the Lakers are gonna win the title, but this is just something to build on and something that the Lakers can use to be like, hey man, when we lock in and follow the game plan and follow the process, this is what can happen. I need this version of Rui Hachimura to consistently show up though, because Austin Reeves, I don't have any worries about. Luka, again, is going to get back to form and kind of be more like this nightly. I'm not worried. And then Braun, I'm not worried about at all. Jackson is whatever. If Jackson was a better rebounder, dude, that would also change the lives more of the Lakers. But Rui, man, Rui's gonna have so many shots. I'm gonna say like the main 3 people, right, that's gonna be like really matter is these guys right here, right? Gabe Vincent, Dodo, and Rui. These guys are gonna be the ones that are get spoon fed a bunch of open threes, and they gotta be able to make shots. Tonight, Dodo didn't really shoot well, and neither did Gabe Vincent, but they did have timely threes when it matters. Rui was spoon fed a bunch of threes tonight, and Rui made 4 of 9. Which that's what you want to see. That is something that you want to see there. So yeah, just a great offensive process. Another thing really quick too, shout out to Jordan Goodwin. I think what's going to end up happening is when the playoffs are going to hit here, and there's kind of like a week or something before the playoffs where you have to sign all of your two-way players or buyout market players, I'm pretty sure that Jordan Goodwin is going to get signed onto the team. I do believe, though, in order to get that done, though, you're going to have to waive somebody, which unfortunately to me, it probably is going to be Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish is my guy. I'm a believer in Cam Reddish, and I think and I still believe Cam Reddish can be something solid two-way player in this league, but unfortunately he's just fallen deep out of the rotation, and Cam, unfortunately, with how bad his offense has been, is just not going to be able to make it good. And unfortunately he's nowhere as close to Jared Vanderbilt is on defense, so he's not justifiable to keep him on the roster. But I think they are going to pick up Jordan Goodwin for the playoffs. Now, will he really see the floor? I doubt it. I think your 8-man rotation is going to be, obviously you're going to go the starting 5, so it's going to be Rui, Braun, Jax, Austin, and Luka. Then you have Dodo, Gabe Vincent, and Vando will be your 8, and I think that's your 8-man rotation. I don't really see where like Goodwin may play in certain spots, but I don't think he'll play too much, but it'll probably just be somebody there that might actually get some minutes. And then DK, I think DK has been another spot as well where it's like, maybe he can get some minutes, but unfortunately he's like gonna be not really doing too much there as well. So we'll kind of see how the playoffs things go, but Jordan Goodwin for sure deserves a guaranteed spot for the end of the season, maybe even longer, but definitely for the playoffs going forward. Looking ahead for both teams, so for the Nuggets, I mean, again, this is one blip. The Nuggets can bounce back. They have a back-to-back, funny enough, so they're going to play Indiana tomorrow. I said tomorrow. Oh, actually, no. So it's 1 a.m. my time, so when I started recording this, so I said tomorrow. Thinking it's still the 22nd, but they play Indiana on Monday. Indiana's a solid team, but I don't see anybody there in Indiana that's gonna put pressure on the Nuggets defense and force the Nuggets to actually guard. Well, actually, no. The Indiana scores a lot, so maybe Indiana will force them to play. But they both like to run fast, and again, Jokic is the best in the world. That Thursday game, this is the one that will really be interesting because them against the Bucks. I think the Bucks will force them to challenge. They actually, now looking at it, they do have a nice little interesting schedule coming up. Like their next 7 games here, like, and it's a lot of road games too. Only 2 home games, but they're playing the Pacers. They got the Bucks. They got the Pistons, who have been surging all year. Shout out to Cade Cunningham, bringing Detroit basketball back from hell. Detroit's currently on a 5-game winning streak right now, and they're 4 games above 500. Shoot, Detroit's trying to compete with Milwaukee and Indiana to try to see if they can get that 4 or 5 spot. But yeah, shout out to them. But then you got Boston. You're gonna play Boston early Sunday morning on that. So really like an early game there. Then you got the Kings, which the Kings are right now they're in the play-in tournament. Phoenix right now, I mean they're outside of the play-in, but Phoenix wants to see if they can somehow sneak in and get in there. And then obviously this last one here, you got OKC, and OKC is the best team in the conference. So Nuggets have a little bit of they played back to back against the Thunder too, and then their kryptonite against Timberwolves. Oh yeah, so they got a very interesting start to the month there. So we will see kind of how Denver works out, because if Denver gets on anything of a losing streak there, there is possibility for maybe the Rockets or the Lakers to be able to move up and jump Denver. For the Lakers also, they're not in just a free spot either. The Lakers got to deal with the same kind of problems there. On Tuesday, they're gonna play the Mavs. Anthony Davis is not gonna play Tuesday. Everybody was aware of that because of the issues. I don't think Anthony Davis is set to come back until maybe the middle of March or towards the end of March with what they're projecting. So it's just gonna be Kyrie. It's gonna be Kyrie and no bigs versus the Mavericks. So we'll see how Dallas wants to guard there. Then we got a decent matchup on Thursday against the Timberwolves. Nice little game over there. Minnesota's got size, so we'll see how that goes there. But they both also, you got 2 centers that aren't really centers that aren't going to really stretch the 5, and then the Timberwolves clog the paint. Like the Timberwolves offense is like stagnant, so we're going to try to put a bunch of pressure on Ant and probably force somebody like Jaden McDaniels to beat us in that game. So we'll kind of see how that goes. Then we got 2 games against the Clippers. Luka owns the Clippers, and then we just beat the Clippers last time fully healthy without Luka even playing, and we didn't have Max Christie in that game. So games against the Clippers that we can take, possibly maybe split it, but we definitely can see a situation where both of them can take. The Pelicans are trying to tank at this point. You guys already see when they traded Brandon Ingram, DeJounte Murray's out for the year and stuff again, and Zion's still trying to get back to health, so it's like whatever. But then that should be one where the Lakers just you may not get up for that one, but you gotta win. Just take care of business. Thursday against the Knicks, a really big one coming up there. Primetime ABC against Boston in Boston, and then we got a Monday game against the Brooklyn, where they're also trying to do that as well. And then we hit after that. after the Nets game, we get a 3-day break, and then we hit this part of the season where it's nothing but back-to-backs. So we'll hit that rough patch of the season too, where we're playing a ton of games. So there's gonna be a ton of miles on the body. But yeah, the Lakers but the Nuggets got a little bit of a tough schedule ahead. The Lakers got a little bit of tough. Nuggets definitely got not a little bit. The Nuggets got tough games ahead. They got nothing but decent teams all around. Like, the worst team that they're playing on that schedule is the Phoenix Suns, and the Phoenix Suns healthy, you're still talking about Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal playing like that type of offense playing against your Denver Nuggets squad that sucks on defense. So yeah, we'll kind of see where it goes and kind of see where things kind of take us. By the way, we're 4th in the Western Conference tonight because of Houston losing to the Jazz. That was surprising because at some point I had looked down and I had noticed that the Rockets, they had like a 5-point lead in the Jazz with like a couple minutes left in the fourth quarter or something like that. And then I ended up looking again, and the Jazz, after the Lakers game was over, and I was listening to a couple of Lakers Lakers Twitter people in Twitter Spaces talk about the game. Somebody had mentioned how, hey, the Jazz is up on the Rockets with 40 something left to go, and it's a 7-point game. So I was like, man, that's a huge blessing right there. So we're ahead of we're ahead of the Rockets. The thing that's really irking though is the thing about like us losing that game to Charlotte just really frustrates me, because we should be 35-20 right now, with having a little bit of extra space on Houston, forcing Houston to really kind of have to lock in for us, and then try to see if we can like get closer and closer to Denver. I know we're only 2 games out, but it's still just like this should now be like this now should be like 1.5, like type, like it should be like 1.5 instead of like 2 games out. But things can change. We can go on another win streak and see how that goes. We'll see how that happens out. Otherwise, that's really gonna be about it for tonight. Unfortunately, guys, I won't lie, I was at work, so I didn't get to watch the full slate of games here. I did see that Claxton had gotten a game-winning putback on the 76ers. So shout out to Nick Claxton. Does that help the Nets in the long run at all? No, because the Nets are in the capture the flag sweepstakes. That's what we on Twitter have been dubbing it. The capture the flag, aka Cooper Flag from Duke, capture the flag sweepstakes. So that win just doesn't help them at all. The Charlotte Hornets, after posting on social media saying there's something special about this team because they beat the Lakers, and they were hugging Mark Williams, giving the game ball and shit. They fucking lost tonight by, this is like, they lost definitely like easily. It was a 50-point L, 141-88. Disgraceful shit from Charlotte tonight. So Charlotte, yeah, I don't even want to hear it. Portland, I don't think Portland at this point kind of cares anymore. I think about trying to be in the sweepstakes for Cooper Flag. I think Portland's just trying to end the year strong and maybe see who they can build around and who they need to let go and get rid of. But Portland Portland had a decent little thing tonight. And then the Suns tonight had a bounce back win against Chicago. Suns needed that one. Because you didn't want to keep losing a bunch of these games and put yourself deeper in the West, because right now, I mean, the Sacramento Kings are above them by 1 game, and anything can flip-flop really quick between them and the Kings, because I think the Warriors are going to kind of go on a little bit of running too. They've been playing way better since the Jimmy trade and stuff too. So Suns needed that win today. But yeah, not too much of the NBA slate today. It wasn't really like a crazy slate. Tomorrow, let's see what tomorrow's slate is. Tomorrow's actually a solid slate of games, actually. But a ton of ESPN games, got a bunch of national games tomorrow. Tomorrow's actually a solid slate. Knicks and Celtics, I mean, let's just talk about that real quick. The Knicks can't be the top teams for whatever reason this year. They've gotten their ass handed to by Boston every way which round. All the times they played Boston this year, they've gotten their ass handed to Cleveland a couple of days ago. I don't expect anything to change, so I expect Boston to just wipe the Knicks tomorrow and not have any issues. After that, Dallas at Warriors. Klay Thompson's return. Klay Thompson's return again to Golden State for the second time this year. So I think they both don't have any really reliable bigs. So obviously, I mean, the Lakers, like, I'm not Lakers, the Mavericks bigs are just all hurt, and the Warriors bigs just suck. There's no like good bigs. It'll be very interesting to see kind of what Kyrie does. I'm also going to keep an eye Max Christie. Max Christie has been kind of balling for a while, and he has been doing better like on the Lakers, especially this year that JJ Redick has been giving him a chance. But ever since he got over to the Mavericks, I don't think he's had a game under 15 points. I think literally every single game Max Christie has played for the Dallas Mavericks, he's had at least 15 points. So he's just gotten to the Mavericks and just guaranteed himself, oh yeah, I'm a 15 plus point scorer. So Mavericks fans are already in love with him. I see Mavericks Twitter as like, hey, like any silver lining things is kind of like, man, I love this kid Max Christie. They love his energy, they love his play style and everything there. So Max Christie is just somebody that Dallas is gonna love. But do I think they beat the Warriors tomorrow? Don't think so. I'm probably gonna give the edge to Golden State on that one. Clippers and Pacers, that'll be an interesting one as well. Really nice game there, especially if Kawhi plays. See kind of Harden and Kawhi versus Halliburton and the crew. Bucks Heat used to be interesting. Now that there's no Jimmy over there, I can't necessarily think that this is gonna be a good game, but who knows? Milwaukee with Doc Rivers, you can't guess how a Doc Rivers team is going to play at any point in the game, so you'll see how that goes. Suns and Raptors, I don't expect anything from that game at all. Suns should win, but who knows. Magic and Wizards, Magic are just going to take care of that one. Pistons and Hawks will be pretty interesting because Trae Young and them, they can't escape the play-in for whatever reason. Just the Hawks are just a play-in team. They're just forever bound in the play-in. Sometimes they'll make it out to go to the first round and play. Other times they won't, but they're just a play-in team. There's just nothing exciting to watch about the Hawks, especially since Jalen Johnson went down for the year too. You're just like, maybe yeah, if you're a Trae Young fan, you're a Hawks fan, yeah, but there's nothing exciting to watch with the Hawks. But if you're gonna tune in that game, you're watching that game to see Cade Cunningham just try to put on masterclass. ESPN has Memphis versus Cleveland. That'll be something really, really interesting because Cleveland's defense is crazy, especially with Allen and Mobley, and they got DeAndre Hunter, and they have multiple people that can go get you 20 a night. And so this Cleveland team is really, really scary. Cleveland, I might actually, funny enough, give me another couple of give me another week of Cleveland dominating great teams. I might be ready to put Cleveland as my favorite my favorite winning the title over Boston, which unfortunately, I mean, I personally want somebody to beat Boston, but I just still can't see it at the moment, which fuck Boston, hurts my heart. But yeah, give me another week and I might be ready to declare the Cavs as my team that's gonna win the finals this year. But we'll kind of see, because Ja had been in a funk. Ja just recently got out the funk last game, did pretty solid. So hopefully Ja can continue to do that, especially with the rumors coming out about them trading him in the summer. Spurs Pelicans, no reason to watch that game unless you're watching for De'Aaron Fox. There's no Wemby. BI got traded. DeJounte's done for the year. Zion may or may not play. No reason to really want to watch that game there. And then the last game of the night, which will be all-time interesting, OKC versus Minnesota. We'll see if Ant can go ahead and decimate that OKC defense with that spacing. Funny enough, we had just seen Anthony Edwards go off the other day against the Rockets stifling defense, but the rest of the team just didn't play well. So Anthony, it was just a one-man show, and Jalen Green ended up having a great night and going off, and the Rockets won that one. So we'll see how Ant does against OKC defense at home. Otherwise, I think that's going to be it for tonight, y'all. So I appreciate you guys for watching. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, and maybe we'll talk more basketball tomorrow. You guys, maybe we'll upload tomorrow, or maybe we'll wait till Tuesday when the next time the Lakers play, when they play Dallas. Who knows? We'll see how we feel, and especially how the games go. We'll kind of talk ball tomorrow. But love you guys. We'll talk more. See you later, Hoops Night crew. See you guys in the next one.